Age is a question of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. You are only as old as you feel. Hello, everyone. My name is Naushin Shaikh, and you are watching Bookmarks of Life. Welcome to the episode 2, Grey is the New Green. Today, I have a very special guest who is in her golden years. She's at the zenith of wisdom. She's beautiful, she's loving, and has an amazing intellect. When I had a talk with her, I fell in love with her. And I'm sure when you listen to her, you'll feel the same. Please welcome Miss Lakshmi Ramkrishnan ji. Thank you so much, Lakshmi ji, for being with me on this show, Bookmarks of Life, and the episode 2, that is Grey is the New Green. And I welcome you in my show. Thank you so much again.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Naushin ji.
Yeah, I met Lakshmi ji, I think 2 or 3 months back. I was doing an internship with Adulthood Trust. So those who don't know what is Adulthood Trust, it's a Mumbai-based foundation, and they work for the psychological and social welfare for the senior citizens. And I was doing an internship there for a month, and I think it was the most refreshing experience I had. It was the most refreshing experience for me when I was working with Adulthood Trust, and I met Lakshmi ji there. I used to conduct workshops there, and she was the one who used to be the most, she was participating with that spark, and she had that kind of enthusiasm. I had a chat with her. The kind of intellect that she has is, I think, amazing. So that's what Lakshmi ji is, and whenever I listen to her, I'm always in that awe. And then that's what Lakshmi ji is. So Lakshmi ji, how are you feeling on this show today?
Yes, it's a great pleasure to be with you because I have been enjoying with you in Adhata also. So I made up my mind to be with you.
That's
for
really
this
sweet
chat.
of you, Lakshmi ji. Yeah. So let's get to know Lakshmi ji. So I want to know, I'll just start now because I want to know, what do you remember about your childhood? Like, how were you as a child?
Yeah, I would say right from childhood, first of all, I was very mischievous. And I was the third child in my family. We were 4 sisters and 4 brothers. And I was the third girl, 2 boys after that. So I was a pampered one in the family.
Okay.
So that perhaps made me more mischievous. But at the same time, right from the childhood, I was very positive about everything. You call it a yes man, जो भी कोई बोलेगा यस यस तो वो करते थे. तो आई बिकेम सबके मन में बस गए हम. जो भी होता था वो बुलाते थे. माय चाइल्डहुड नेम वाज मुन्नी. They will say, where is Munni? So that childhood memory was amazing for me. But at the age of 19, I got married.
Okay.
And after that, I shifted to Mumbai. We were in Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. My father was in government service. He was a collector. So, though I had everything what I wanted, but my mother was a great disciplinarian. She used to always tell, those days, for girls, there are some duties, for boys, some duties. So girls, basically, they make a homemaker. So we have to have, right from a younger age, say 12 years. So we were 2 sisters, 2 brothers. So everything was taught to me, right from the cooking to the taking care of the younger one. Since I was the eldest, the younger one, I used to boss them a lot. And that is how, all it was a happy-go-lucky time.
So I think when I was listening to you, I could see that pleasant smile on your face, like, the kind of childhood you had, and also like the gender roles were distributed, from the beginning of your childhood, and the kind of, you come from a family where discipline was encouraged a lot. And I think that's what I can see in you as a person still. I mean, that's like, I can see it very clearly in you. And if you're talking about that mischievous child in you, the like Munni, if you're saying, that's also like that spark is still there on your face. So that's lovely to know about. And like when I talk about, when you're transitioning to the young adulthood, like, so how are you as a young adult, like that way?
Yeah. As I told you, we were not given those days, girls were not given that much freedom. By evening 5 o'clock, you have to be in the house. You should not go for excursion.
Okay.
You have to have no co-education for us. But in the house, we were given all the values. Evening prayer with all the children, all the family member, eating together with family members. So that was not for some time. That was for long years, 19 years. So after that, I knew that what I am heading for. So my mother used to always advise, wherever you go, take a good name for the family, for good name for this thing. Make them happy by your deeds. So that imbibed me, and at the age of 19, I got married. I was very fortunate to get a very cooperative and loving husband. He was 10 years older to me. At that time, as I told you, I was very mischievous and बहुत चुलबुली लड़की जिसे कहते हैं ना बहुत ही चुलबुली थे. So he used to, he used to advise me always, don't be in a hurry, do your work slowly. And like that, for 34 long years we were together. Unfortunately, I lost her 26 years back. So that was this thing in adult. I was 50 plus at that time, 53, 54. Now I am 81. So at that time when I lost him, I was really at the verge of committing, what has happened to me. But I tell you, I have a daughter, I have a son. My son was very, 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 he is the best son in the world. So he encouraged me. At that time, he introduced me to that. Already I was in Chinmaya Mission. So we used to have a study class, a scheme of studies we used to have. Some books, and once a week we used to meet. And then there is a place in Bangalore. We were in Bangalore at that time. There is a place there we learned all the good chanting, music, and we used to have prayer in the morning in the temple. So there we used to meet, about 30, 40 ladies, 30, 40 males. Developed, I was miserable to start with, but my son saw to it that he took a house near the temple where I can have only 3 minutes walk. And I used to go. I had a very loving, so he was my source of joy. And I developed with him. And totally I changed. I came to my normal self that time.
That's really courageous, and also a very beautiful way to, kind of, coming back to your normal life and your normal functioning from where you come, and how how marriage plays a part in your development as a person. And then you again, you're transitioning to different lifespan. Like, in a lifespan, you have seen almost like 3 generations now. And still, I think, what I felt about you was you're always learning, and you're always kind of open to experiences. And also, there's you are very open to different, like the energy, like the good energy. So, you're very open to positive energy, and that shows up, in your attitude. So that is, I think, wonderful. That's beautiful to know. Like, as I was talking about this transitions in life, and when I come to this part, that, what do you think, what has changed in these years? Like, you have, as I'm saying, like, you have seen a lot of, like, you have been living this life for, like, you have seen these generations changing. So what do you think, what has changed in these many years?
Yeah, once I got a support, see, in the atmosphere where I was born and brought up, when I got a, what you say, support, a fallback of my son. So I bounced back to normalcy, and I had a grandchild to take care. And my daughter-in-law and my son, they had a very demanding job. So they were busy with that, and I was busy with this. Adding to that, we had this Chinmaya Mission activities.
Yeah.
So it was a learning part at that time. We learned various things, some Vedanta, some this thing. I took part in most of the activities, but I had a responsibility of my grandson at that time, since my daughter-in-law was working. But it was a wonderful thing, I used to take him with me wherever I used to go. And it never, struck me that something, I am doing something great. Because mentally I was very happy. I bounced back to the normalcy, that was a great thing. And I am really very grateful to my son for that. He gave me such a support, that you can see me now, and even now at this age.
Yes. And that's very wonderful to know that I have seen people doing their jobs, people of your age, they are taking care of their grandchildren, and they again get to parenting. And still sometimes, I love the fact that you are very happy about it when you get to do it again, and, you are really taking it as, something to be happy about. That's, I think, wonderful to know. So I think it's very wonderful to know that, you again got back to parenting when you had your grandchild, and you are feeling very happy about it. And I have seen, people of your age, they have different attitudes, and everyone is an individual. I understand that very much. But what do you think, where does education and, traditions play a part in a person's development, or in a person's, in anyone's attitude? Because I see that you belong to a family where education, tradition, culture was very much encouraged. So what do you think, what does, like, education play, where does education plays a part, or a tradition plays a part? Yeah.
See, it is like this, right from the childhood, if you imbibe that qualities, the tradition comes to you. Yeah. A child at the age of 5 or 6, they have got certain ritual in the house, they participate in it, and they imbibe their qualities. So that develops gradually, Right. Second thing, education is most important, and which I got, We were in Bhopal at that time. So I did my BA from there only. So as it is, at that time, the moment the last year was there, I got married. I told you at the age of 19. We were 4 girls and 4 boys in the house. And in the girls, I was the eldest. So at the age of 19, I got married.
Right.
So that is how, my mother's teaching. My mother, I tell you, she died at the age of 101, but she was a hard taskmaster. She will give all love to you, but at the same time, she will see that everything. My father was a collector, but my mother made it a point that each girls in the house, they learn cooking, they learn household things, they learn to do ibadat, puja, and everything. That all it has to be done. So that was imbibed in us, sooner or later, and we grew with that.
So what I could see is that it's not the equality that was encouraged, but there was equity. I mean, what is needed was done. It's like not what is, what you want was encouraged, but what was needed, whatever was needed, that was encouraged in your household. And that you still carry with you, and that is shown in your parenting. And also after that, also you are taking care of your grandchild, like in that way, with that love and, with that tradition. So I think that's, I could see that very, very much in your, when you were talking about it. I want to ask, like, how would you describe your own generation? The generation you come from, how would you describe it?
See, it's a generation I will defy that we had some do's and don'ts. So, for example, I will tell you, my father will never allow us to be away from the house after 5 o'clock. All should be in the house at that time, 5 o'clock. For the prayer in the evening, lighting the lamp, everybody should be there in the house. They will say small shlokas or small something. And if nobody, but at the same time, we got love for him, on holidays, he will bring lot of fruits, lot of sweets. He will cut himself, he will give us. And I had a migraine, in that. I remember my father putting oil in my ear and pampering me, I was the first girl child in the family, so my pampered one and spoiled one, you can say.
Yeah.
So yes, where I was, you said how
about your own generation, like what do you think about that?
See, in our time, we had certain don'ts and do's. For example, during holidays, we will go to our nanihal, to our grandparents' house. By going there, we used to meet all our family people. So the give and take was more. We learned from them and they learned from us. All the arts were taught to us, singing, chanting, interacting with people. Normally, which I don't see these days, And since ours was a big family, we were 8 brothers and sisters. So it was like a good crowd, ourselves.
Yeah, you had the audience as well. Yeah. Okay. So, when I was listening to you, what I understood was if I ask the same question to someone else, I think they might have something else to say about this generation and what kind of experiences they had. And that shows that everyone is an individual and we cannot generalize any generation, that this generation is particularly like this, or they are like this, or you have assumptions about a teenage, a guy or a girl, and there are assumptions about different generations. So you really cannot generalize anything. In that, it's a fact. I really realized that when I was asking you that question. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And I want to ask this question that was in my mind, that how would you describe my generation? What are your thoughts on this?
See, I appreciate your generation very much because by intellectually, you people are much better. You have got much better resources these days. And if you are from a, value-based company, you've got everything, nothing to lose. And that we can apparently see in you.
Yeah.
So
I think,
you say, but I won't say this, everybody is open to this. Some people are fortunate enough, some people are not that fortunate. But by and large, these days, society is taking care. For example, I am telling you, they have started various NGOs. People like you are doing human service. Adhata is for old people, but for younger generation also, we have time to time, you have a seminar. You are open to good knowledge. And you need not go like us in our days, we had to go library to find the book and this thing. Everything at your button, you just press the button and you get everything on your cell. So I would call that, I won't say you are lucky, you have got that potential also. See, unless somebody gets it, for example, I cannot, any of the book I cannot read by online because I don't know this thing. And you people, you are well versed in this. So you are taking advantage that. So I really feel, and most important thing, you are friendly with older people. That is most important, In between, it was not there. So that is why the lonely people, they used to suffer. You understand what I mean? That those children are abroad, they are not there. Financially, they are not that well. So at that time, they never had to fall back on this thing. Now, because of the new generation, a lot of things are introduced to you. That is how it is in Adhata. I tell you, Naushin ji, when I joined 6 years back, Adhata ladies used to shudder come out of the house. But people like you, with who came with lot of new things. From you and all, we learned lot of things. Empathy, I was not knowing, what is empathy. You taught us about that.
But actually, we had so many sessions, but without that discussion and without your input, it was not possible. It was not possible. If you're saying that we have the resources and we have the kind of potential, it's because the time is changing and we are adapting to it. And that is the reason. You also adapted whatever things whatever resources you had, you also adapted to those things. And also what I felt is, you see my generation in this way is because you have this kind of, you're very open-minded. You're very open to experience as well. So whenever I talk to you, I never feel that I'm talking to a person who is older to me or who is wiser to me. I mean, of course, you are wiser to me, but the thing is that I always feel like it's an adult to adult conversation. I never feel that you're making me feel that I am young. What would I know? Or, you're very open to experience, and it's like, that's the very point. We are trying, we are able to communicate in that manner. So that's what is happening. Because of that, I felt that way. So
see,
I think
like the continue.
Thank you so much for for your input on my generation. But I would really say that, because you're very open to experience, and you are giving that kind of you are always open to learning, I would say. And I also learned a lot when I was working with Adhata Trust, of course, because I was surrounded by wisdom experiences, learnings, and it was beautiful for me. It was a very refreshing experience for me in Adulthood Trust, for that matter. So coming to the next thing, what I want to ask is, what is something like, you're growing, you are in your advancing years. So what kind of things make you happy? Or first I want to ask that, what is the definition of happiness to you?
See, happiness depends person to person. The atmosphere in which I was born and brought up, and till now I am in that, that is a family bond. So when it becomes family bond, your happiness is not outside where you have to search for it. Happiness in your heel only.
Yes.
You have to, so if that happiness, when it comes, when you are happy, automatically I become happy.
Yes.
So the same thing goes with the family, with friends. And once we establish that, we get like-minded people only. To be frank with you, I tell you, I never got a morose man or morose boy or morose lady in my life. All are happy-go-lucky.
Right.
Look at you. You're always smiling. Adhata people, always.
Yeah.
My friends, I have good friends where I go with some. It is not that I'm not having problem. Time to time I'm having problem. Time to time I'm having issues. And but when the focus is right, nothing disturbs you.
Yes. It is because you have a kind of perspective. That's your point of view, that you see everything logically, but still you see the positive in it. So you see happiness everywhere. If someone is, very neurotic, they might see things in a very negative way. But it's your perspective, like the glasses you are wearing are the positive glasses, and that is why that is happening. I would really say that, and I would really appreciate that. That vibe, that energy always comes from you is always. I think it makes me also feel that positivity. That is why the reason is.
See,
so
it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Hamesha, when I was in school, in 10th class, we have that fish pond, after having farewell party, they give. So, हंसना मेरे को उन लोगों ने ही सिखाया. I will tell you what was my fish pond. मुस्कुराती हुई कलियों की नजाकत तुम हो, जिसने देखा ही नहीं गम वह मुसर्रत तुम हो. So at that time, so many things I didn't, but as days goes, I really felt that was inspiring, and it never made me sad at all. Wherever I went, many times I got a lot of blows from my mother-in-law. That all the time 34 is there,
Yeah, but you always carry the positives in your handbag. You always have this, things that you just open your bag and you always feel that, okay, it's okay. I feel happy now. So I don't, the external forces don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's wonderful to know. My question is that, how have your dreams and goals changed throughout your life?
To be frank with you, the atmosphere we were born and brought up, a big family and this thing, though we had the basic education, even then, basically we were homemaker only, housewife only. So the other things never came. And in my life, I have 3 grandchildren, one for my sons and 2 my daughters. So like that, they are growing nice and this thing. Many people, they say, that you have not worked, you don't feel about it. we see them happily, growing, and we enjoy it. My daughter's daughter, she's doing neurology in Boston. So when they come up, they are very close to me. 3 of them. Even my son, he is doing PhD in Denmark. So they will come out with lot of, Patti, give me some recipe. I'm having in Denmark, they are not getting khana, So you are involved in everything. So that gives you great happiness, So you never felt that you have never worked or you have never, this thing. The interaction with everybody is there in the family.
Right.
It is not that I'm old, so people are not talking to me and I'm secluded. When in life you get happiness, the other things become small then. You go out of the way for that.
So coming back to this point, when you were saying that I never felt that, people were neglecting me or this way. I mean, about this particular age, there are different myths also. When it comes to any age, there are myths, there are assumptions, there are prejudice. So what do you think, what myths people have about your age or about your generation?
See, what I saw in Adhata, I was basically not open to many people because in the family, to begin with, I had my grandson, who is now in Denmark. And my daughter is always, children were small and they were away. But I'm just missing the question. You repeat?
Yeah. So I was saying that what kind of myths people have about your age or about your generation?
Yeah. So when I joined Adhata, I saw a lot of miserable people, my age.
Yeah.
And we used to have topics at that time. Learned people like you never came there. Between us only, we used to discuss and doing things. As days goes, Deepti ji was coming and she was taking and she was interacting with us. Slowly it blossomed. But when it started, at that time, they were all very miserable. Some people will say our children, they don't care for us. We used to write, they used to give us to write something that what happened, enact something that how older people are admitted in old age home and there nobody cares and there, like that. So all negative only we saw. But as days goes, now I see Adhata is a different thing. It has, the ladies who can't dance, who have got knee pain, who has got a lot of physical, problem. They come out of it and they take part in it and they have changed. So now the scenario is different. People are, even if youngsters are not caring, they themselves, they have made themselves, capable of participating everything. Many of them, they are alone, they are not with children. They are abroad or they are out of town or like that.
So when I say that there are definitely challenges to any age, and when you grow up, when you are in your advancing years, there are challenges that people face. Of course, everyone doesn't have the same kind of challenges. So I think when you were saying all this, what I felt was that it's more about from within, how you are looking at things. I'm not saying that there is like elderly abuse is a very big issue in today's times, and there are vice versa. Everything happens. They have different challenges, but though it's all about how you look at things. As you were saying that now people are more accepting. They have become more they accept the kind of generation, like your age and the challenges you have, because there are gains and losses at every age. So, accepting those challenges and, overcoming that, that's how you actually, grow, basically.
See, it is like this. I would say older people should have thought. I will not say that many of us older people, they are unhappy, in the house because children are not taking care in this thing. Instead of going on complaining about,
Yes.
See, if you have a fulfilled heart, that is, whatever comes, agate swagatam. In life, everything is not a bed of roses, So if you go hand in hand with younger people, I think the scenario is better, no? It is not like that every house, everybody is miserable like that. Certain things you have to let go.
Right. So, yes, it's your take on the situation, basically.
Yeah. See,
right. So, looking at the whole thing, are you afraid of something?
See, I only pray God that I should not be a handicap and a burden to my children. That is the only thing. Otherwise, I'm very happy in life, and whatever comes to me and whichever situation I am and whatever I have been. So I am very happy about it, nothing to nothing to be scared of, because once you get the happiness in the family, then the other things are very minor. It is not that I don't have ups and downs. I had a lot of ups and downs in this thing, losing my husband, and I had a paralyzed mother-in-law. But everything time to time, as I told you, I had a good family to support me, good husband to support me, good son to support me, my daughter, even now she supports me. So I go there, stay with her for 1 or 2 months in Delhi. You forget the unpleasant things. The negative things goes out your mind. And a stage comes when you are one with the children, And once the enjoyment comes, where is the place for unhappiness?
That was a beautiful description, like, the elaboration of, if you're afraid of something, but it's not you're afraid of for yourself. You're accepting whatever challenges you have, but it's just about, like, you don't want to bother other people. And what I could see was you're a very giving person that way. It becomes, that way. So I think, in this age, people have certain insecurities that their power, the kind of power they have on their household, and then it shifts because new people also come in your house, and you have a daughter-in-law coming up, your grandchildren, and they have their own opinions. They have the kind of thoughts that you might not agree with, or you might agree with. There are different conflicts, I would say. But so how do you does that bother you that it's changing, the scenario is changing now?
See, it is like this. Basically, the values given to you and you stand on that values, then there is nothing to worry about it. There are problems come, and then you have to overcome that. But that becomes less than. गॉन हो जाती हैं, प्रॉब्लम्स कम हो जाती हैं. और फिर जब आपको सपोर्ट करने वाला कोई हो जाता है ना, फॉल बैक, इट इज ऑलवेज फॉल बैक, तो मेरे तो इतने सॉलिड फॉल बैक है. मेरा बेटा, मेरी बेटी, दोनों तरफ कंधे मेरे को संभाल लेते हैं वो. तो फिर वेयर इज द टाइम टू ग्रम्बल एंड ये करने का. Everything is, rosy only for me. I have no regrets in life. And आपके जैसे फ्रेंड्स मिल जाते हैं अभी कहाँ देखिए आप अहमदाबाद बैठे हो, हम यहाँ बैठे हैं. तो that I tell you, that is, I believe that वो एक luck होता है. When I lost my husband, 25 years back, we went from Bombay to Bangalore. My son was working for Hindustan Liver, and he was transferred to there. There, when I first day I went to temple, I will tell you a small instance. There, the sannyasi, Brahmaji,
Yeah.
he used to come for the prayer in the morning. I used to go 7 o'clock. We used to have aarti and everything. I was very depressed at that time when we just shifted. It was I lost my husband in 66. So 67 we went there at that time. ब्रह्मा जी जो देख रहे थे, एक स्मॉल हिंट आई गॉट फ्रॉम हिम. जो प्रसाद देते हैं वहां पे, तो दैट प्रसाद वाज स्कैटर्ड आउटसाइड. सो लॉट ऑफ क्रोस दे वर पेकिंग. सो ब्रह्मा जी पीछे खड़े रहते थे, उनके पास ही मैं खड़ी थी. उन्होंने बोला, सी द क्रो हैज कम फॉर प्रसाद. एक इतनी ऐसी चीज बोली कि that made me so this thing upset about it. Why of all the people he told me this? But I thought about it, that ultimately I got the answer, that ये क्रो की तरह मुझे नहीं होना चाहिए कि I should not come to a temple to get prasad only. So वहाँ जो भी एक्टिविटीज होती थी उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना शुरू किया. लॉट ऑफ चैंटिंग वी डिड. इसमें हम लोगों के स्क्रिप्चर्स में जो भी थी, एंड इट वाज अमेजिंग. देन ही स्टार्टेड अस टेकिंग टू फॉर ऑल द सत्संग, एंड आई हैड ए गाला टाइम देयर. There we used to have enjoy, like how I am enjoying now.
Yeah. So you're not stuck on one thought that, because people have, you're not very just religious. You were actually looking at it in a very different way, that, there are so many things that are happening around me and I should be open to it that way. You're not just following the religious, the kind of traditions that we have. Of course, that are important to everyone, but it's more about connecting to God. And if you are happy, that's what matters.
To be frank with you, even I don't observe lot of tradition, lot of pujas and this thing. But always I feel, you have to go with the crowd, be with the people, and that makes you happy ultimately.
Yes.
That is the thing.
Yes. So, in our religion, we also say that it's just not that you are always praying that's what matters. But if you are, if you are a giving person, you are helping people, and not just like opening an NGO or working for them, or just going for large crowds and helping them and going for this cleanliness drives and all that. That doesn't matter. But even if you are at your home and you have your 2 children and you're just helping them grow, and you're helping them in their own course or something, so that's, I think, it becomes a prayer only. It feels like a prayer.
Yes,
you are connecting to God by helping, his like humans, that I will say. So that also becomes like a prayer only. You don't need to go to, you don't, of course, religious practices, I'm not saying that it is important, but it's more about living your life in that way, just not becoming just religious, but becoming spiritual, so you can connect to the world.
See, ultimately, what is prayer? Prayer is sacrifice and sharing only.
Yeah.
If in practical life you are doing like that, वो तो prayer ही है.
Yes. So I want to ask that, like, what advice would you like to give to my generation, like to the girls of my generation?
See, I told you, in my life, whatever sufferings and whatever enjoyment and whatever at present is happening is because of my previous this thing. What I feel, what your thoughts become your action. What you think, that becomes your action. Your action become your habit. And then your habit becomes your character.
Yeah.
So that character, becomes your destiny ultimately.
Yes.
So always do good and get good.
Yes.
That's what I would say. इस चीज में यदि कहीं भी गड़बड़ हो गई तो you have to undergo,
Yes.
उसमें फिर आपको नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव सब आ जाएंगे. But if you plan to do this thing, there is no, there will be, obstacles in the life. Obstacle to life में रहेंगे. But when your heart is fulfilled, everything becomes nice. And that we see in these days also, many of the children. I will just refer to the Olympic, recent this thing. There was that shot put, 2 points, 37 meters only. There was a Barshin and Tamberi, Tokyo Olympic I am talking. Yeah. In that, Italy and this thing, Potter, both of them, they were competing. In that, the 3 times they could not exceed 2.37. Third time when they were doing it, the Italy boy got hurt in the leg and he withdrew. Okay. Yes, he withdrew. And the Potter boy, that is Tamberi. Tamberi was, everything was rosy for him. But he asked the conductor that if I also withdraw, will both of us will get gold? And then he said, yes, you will get. On the spot, he withdrew from that. And the Italian fellow just hugged him like that. So that happiness you get, आपको कहाँ मिलेगी ये happiness? Gold देगा क्या ये happiness? तो in life ऐसे कई अपने पास अवसर आते हैं जबकि हमारा मतलब real जो हमारा character है वो यदि काम आ जाए तो फिर otherwise sorrow is not there in your life. Everything is rosy.
Yes. I'm going to keep this in mind, as character is very important and that comes from your own thoughts. So you have to, be very mindful of your own thoughts, what you are thinking, then again that becomes your character and it becomes your life and your destiny.
Yeah.
And that's how you are going to be remembered, like as a person. So you need to be we need to be very mindful of our thoughts, and I'm going to keep this in mind very much. Yes. So I think we are about to come to the end of this episode, but I want to ask, the name of the episode is Grey is the New Green. So if I say Grey is the New Green, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that is a very big this thing, but to make it short, I will tell. Grey is, we are all, I am and my age people, they are all grey now. To bring the green in us, somebody has to have a fallback, So that we had Adhata. Adhata came in our life in such a time, When, as I told you before, that some of the ladies, they were shuddering to come out of their house, because their children are not there, how people will interact. Physically, they are not very fit like that. But I tell you, Adhata did a tremendous change in them. They brought all the SNDT students, they came. They brought exercises for us. And the people like you came, and you came with such a, lot of things, empathy, fulfill heart, and this thing, what you call it, that नाम नहीं आता है, भूल जाते हैं उसमें कई चीजें, ergonomics and tongue twisting and this thing. So what happened? That made a great change in us. The people who were not talking, the people who were not, they are itching to talk, they are itching to, participate. And now we are going to have this Elders' Day. They are having a dance practice, and Radha is going out of the way to help them out, when teacher comes on the line, on doing for this, So that has scenario. People, घर गुस्सू थे जो लोग, घर में ही बैठे रहते थे, हमारी उम्र के लोग, वो अभी बाहर आ रहे हैं, सबसे मिल रहे हैं, बात कर रहे हैं. So that is a great thing, and they are having competitions also. उसमें प्राइज भी उनके लिए रख देते हैं, उनका जन्मदिन मनाते हैं, all the festival we celebrate, So they have become a wanted person, and who doesn't want that?
Yes. So it's just not about, there is an external force that is working and people are aware about it, how to, help, or how to assist this kind of, this generation maybe. But what is that factor that comes from within that makes the gray green?
This is what we were gray, and now the green has come in our life. So we are participating in dramatics, we are participating in songs, we are participating in Antyakshari, and what is not there, the games also. Some of the Alzheimer ladies and people came, they improved their health by leaps and bounds, in this. So I really tell that, and it has come from our house, it is only 3 minutes walk. So most of they have formed a center, and our Matunga center is amazing. You have seen that.
Yeah. I had the best time with their life. Actually.
Yeah, even we had the best time.
Yes. And my last question, that is my last question, that is, life is like a book, and if you had to bookmark one thing from your life, what would it be?
See, I would say the same thing. Don't compromise on your values. If you want to be happy, why हम लोग इतना पढ़ाई करके कमा के ये करके, basically for money we are not doing. The basic thing is we want to be happy. तो आप अपने values को surrender नहीं करोगे, compromise नहीं करोगे और उस पे चलोगे, तो happiness तो आना ही है. And that is, I will tell you, that is my experience of my life. I have never felt, यार जिंदगी में देखिए अच्छा बुरा तो आता ही रहता है. You have to go with that, But ultimately, आगते स्वागतम बोलते हैं. Sanskrit में एक चीज है, आगते स्वागतम, मतलब whatever comes, if you receptively take it, then वो ये हो जाता है. अभी हम लोगों के लिए receptive क्या है? हमारे grandchildren, they are doing well. Our children are doing well. There is no problem. There is no sickness in us. We are not depending on anybody. So that is all great, whatever we have earned in our life, what else we want, that fulfills our desire. And I tell you, this fulfilled mind, why I am telling, because fulfilled mind adjusts and shares. If you have empty heart, you always grumble and complain. So have a full heart, to help anybody, to do anything. And since it is a love.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi ji, for being with me on the episode 2 of Bookmarks of Life. And it was lovely talking to you, Lakshmi ji. Thank you so
So,
much.
so even I enjoyed the talk, and I wish you all the best, Naushin. And you are doing a very great service to the society, and especially to the elderly persons, and you have all the blessings from us. Do good. Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
So, please, if you like the episode, please like, share, and subscribe to this episode and be with us. And follow Petrichor Development on Instagram and as well as on YouTube. So, because we give life to life. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.